I've actually wanted to make this video for a while, but I've been fighting a cold for 2 months now. But then it occurred to me, Ethan Hunt had a cold, and that didn't stop him.
How you been?
Fighting a bit of a cold.
So yeah, it's time to stop whining and get to work. When it comes to doing the impossible, nobody does it better than Ethan Hunt. In this video, I'm going to share with you 5 things that Ethan Hunt does to accomplish the impossible. Things that you and I can do as well. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean we can do the impossible, but maybe we can do things that, well, might seem impossible. Okay, so let's do this. Hunt can see things that others can't. One of the enduring features of the Mission Impossible franchise is, well, the extreme machinations that the team will go through to get whatever it is they need, whether that be information, a MacGuffin, or what have you. And these machinations are often hidden from the audience until the very end, giving us that sort of familiar Mission Impossible whoa reaction. Hunt can devise these intricate, multifaceted plans because he can see things that others can't.
This is how we beat Lane. This is how we make everything right. Can you see? Can't you see it?
His understanding of human nature, the tools available to him, the competencies of his team, his faith in his own skills, and his imagination all combine to enable him to see opportunities and solutions where others quite simply can't. How you can apply this? The term entrepreneur gets tossed around a lot, and quite frankly, not always correctly. But this is exactly what an entrepreneur does. They see a problem and devise a solution where others can't, where they don't see anything. And then they exploit these opportunities. As Steve Jobs once said, it's really hard to design products by focus groups. A lot of times, people don't know what they want until you show it to them. And well, when he did show it to them, like the first iPhone, the response in the audience was, well, that same Mission Impossible, whoa reaction.
Is a revolutionary mobile phone.
So yeah, when you come across an obstacle or a challenge, don't think, what should I do? Instead, think, what can I do? By asking, what should I do, you limit yourself to pre-established known solutions. On the other hand, when you ask yourself, what can I do, you open yourself up to a whole myriad of possibilities. Possibilities that you, or let alone others, would never have seen had you just stuck to the what should I do proposition. This brings me to my second Hunt characteristic. Hunt is willing to consider all possible solutions. It's one thing to see solutions where others can't. It's quite another thing to be willing to put them on the table and consider them as, well, a viable option, no matter how crazy some of them may seem. And I don't mean crazy in the abstract. Many of the options Hunt chooses are, in fact, well, nuts. And they place his values, not to mention the world and those he loves, in terrible jeopardy.
If you look at Hunt's operational history, and I have, he invariably favors misdirection over confrontation. He'll undoubtedly engage in some aerobatic insanity before he'll risk harming a hair on a security guard's head.
The stakes are ridiculously high, and his solutions bring these potential dangers precariously close to reality. And yet, this is what he does over and over.
You're talking about handing over active nuclear launch codes to Wistrom?
Reprogram the case.
Now listen, no, stop, just listen. What you're saying, you're fixated, you're not thinking clearly.
You're the analyst. Now tell me there's not another way for Hendricks to get those codes.
50!
You tell me that this is his only avenue, right here, right now, today. You tell me that, I'll walk away.
All of this means that when push comes to shove, Hunt is willing to trade risk of failure for probability of success. meaning he's willing to pursue a riskier course of action if it means a higher chance of success. If one plan has a 20% chance of success at a relatively low risk, and another plan has a 70% chance of success but at a much higher risk, he'll take the second plan every time. In Hunt's mind, the objective is all that matters. Risk is just something to mitigate.
Show a pattern of wanton brinksmanship and a total disregard for protocol. From where I sit, your unorthodox methods are indistinguishable from chance, and your results, perfect or not, look suspiciously like luck.
It's no wonder then that where others might see reckless brinkmanship, he sees a solution that will work based on his faith in his competence, his ability to problem solve on the fly, and most importantly, his understanding of human nature. How you can apply this. Hunt knows the best course of action because he knows what a person will do when placed in a particular situation.
What if they read the manifesto on the air?
What, you can do that?
We can do it with a phone call.
Well, if he reads Lark's manifesto, I'll give you the passcode.
He knows this because he knows what they want, their motivations. Now, he uses this understanding of human nature to manipulate his opponents, but you can use it to influence those around you. Those at work, home, school, what have you. It's not about manipulation, it's about influence. But understanding human nature, that's still the root of this ability. Learn what others want, what's important to them, what they need to be fulfilled. Help them obtain these things, and they'll bring their own skills and resources to bear to help you meet your own objectives. To learn more about how to win others to your cause and accomplish great things as a team, I recommend the book Influence, The Psychology of Persuasion by Robert B. Cialdini? I don't know how to pronounce his name, but you'll find a link to his book in the description below. Hunt practices cognitive flexibility. In some cases, when planning a course of action, Hunt thinks things out to the most minuscule of minutiae. On the other hand, he doesn't always need to plan. Sometimes he just acts despite the lunacy of what he's doing. He's not stuck in one mode of thinking or another. This is cognitive flexibility.
Can you open the door?
Can I open the door? Maybe.
Open the door when I tell you!
Cognitive flexibility is the capacity to adapt how you think and solve problems based on the situation and conditions. When time allows, Hunt totally dives deep into systematic analysis, applying slow, deliberate thought, methodically anticipating every detail. Yet in immediate, high-pressure situations, he's able to rapidly switch to improvisation, trusting his training and instincts to make the right decisions on the fly.
But finding the bomb is not going to matter unless we have the detonator.
I know. I'll get it.
If he's in another helicopter, how are you going to get it?
I'll figure it out. You find the bomb, I'll get the detonator. I won't let you down.
How you can apply this. You and I can practice this sort of cognitive flexibility as well. In terms of deliberate, methodical thinking, we can set aside dedicated time free of distractions for complex problem solving and basically challenge our initial intuitive responses by considering alternatives. Then, to develop your more intuitive, flexible thinking skills, seek ways to expose yourself to a wide variety of experiences to build a broader experiential knowledge base from which you can draw in a moment's notice.
Why would that work?
Why'd what work?
The flare on the body. Why would that work?
It did work.
Yeah, I know, but...
Hey.
I mean, what'd you assume they'd be thinking?
I didn't assume they were thinking. I assumed they were shooting at anything that moved. I just gave them a target. Look, these guys aren't Rhodes Scholars.
If you want to learn more about employing these two types of thinking, I recommend the book Thinking, Fast and Slow by Daniel Kahneman. You'll find, once again, an affiliate link in the description below. It's a fantastic book from a seminal thinker. Hunt's comfort zone has its own zip code. Hunt is so at home in chaos and ambiguity that it might as well be his living room where he relaxes. He has an incredibly wide comfort zone, meaning he can regulate his fears and think clearly under the most extreme of circumstances. This allows him to keep his head about him as he assesses his ever-changing environment and make adjustments as he goes. Even when on vacation, he's engaging in activities that are designed to keep his skills and reflexes sharp and acute. And these are skills that he ends up using a great deal in his missions. How you can apply this? You and I, we can expand and grow our own comfort zones. I actually plan on making a separate video about this specifically because I think it's pretty important. But in the meantime, here are some simple steps we can consider. Assess your current comfort zone. After all, you can't move forward if you don't know where you're starting from, so you want to kind of figure things out there. As you do, make a list of situations where you feel comfortable versus where you feel, well, uneasy. Next, set clear and gradual challenges for yourself. You don't want to jump straight into your biggest fear. Instead, tackle some micro challenges that feel slightly uncomfortable but still attainable. As you do all this, learn to enjoy the feeling of excitement that comes with discomfort. I know that might sound a little odd, but in many cases, we actually seek after discomfort, whether that be rides at the amusement park or scary movies or, I don't know, things like that. The point is, we kind of like the feeling of discomfort. So as you expand your comfort zone, well, get into it. As I say, more about this to come in a future video, but just some thoughts. Hunt is able to maintain unflappable composure. The truth is, you and I are both perfectly capable of making clear, rational decisions given the right circumstances, which is to say, in calm, low-pressure, low-stakes situations. Yeah, in that case, we totally rock. This doesn't in any way describe the situations in which Ethan Hunt most often finds himself. Yet Hunt can maintain an unnervingly calm disposition in high-stress, high-stakes situations, like it's nothing more than another day at the office.
It's 15 rounds. When the mag is empty, the slide will lock back like this. To reload, push this button, the empty bag falls out. You shove the other one in, like the batteries in the flashlight in the kitchen. Then release the slide. Point shoot. It's very simple. Point shoot. Step back. Good.
This mindful, in-the-moment approach lets him assess threats quickly and make razor-sharp decisions when seconds or even moments count.
How close were we? The usual.
How you can apply this. The key to developing Ethan Hunt's particular brand of serene composure in dangerous situations lies in slowly acclimating ourselves to this type of pressure. Now, we don't have to go off and save the world every third Wednesday, but there are a variety of ways we can kind of build up our danger antibodies, if you will. Simulate high-pressure situations in safe environments. This could be through public speaking, competitive sports, or even video games that require quick decision-making. The key is to deliberately put yourself in situations where you need to perform under pressure. As you do this, focus on being present in the moment and become aware of your thoughts, emotions, and physical sensations. By observing what's happening internally and externally without immediate reaction or distraction, you can foster a sense of clarity and calm. So yeah, there you go. Develop these traits and soon you'll be accomplishing things that, well, maybe looking at it from the outside might seem impossible. It's not impossible. You can do it. All right, that's all I've got for today. Now go off and make some trouble, and we'll talk again soon. You know, get the information they need, get the, I don't know, what's it called? Oh gosh, what's it called? MacGuffin. It's called a MacGuffin.